Hi everybody, welcome to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Alright, so it's October, and of course this is going to be the month that people are going to want to get into all things October-y, whether it be spirits or ghosts, which I don't call them, or hauntings or any of those things, which you know I don't call it that either. But today I'm going to do a video on, is the dead walking among us more at this time? Are the dead walking among us more at the time? What's the proper version to say? But the idea is, are we going to experience the dead walking among us more during this time? No, and I'm going to get into why. Now, let me just say, there are so many different cultural beliefs and even religious beliefs, and so much out there about this time of year and the dead. There's the Day of the Dead, there's Samhain, and there's all kinds of things, which I'm definitely going to do videos on all of these subjects. However, I want to get into just the general idea before we dive into those other things. And the general idea is that we are celebrating Halloween, and we're celebrating this time of year, is the idea that spirits are walking among us more than ever, because it's when the veil is thinning. This is what people say, and this is when it's more dark than light, or it starts to kind of even out and we can see the dead. Now here's the thing, I just have to kind of say that what I'm going to present to you is a little bit modern take on things. It isn't to dismantle or put down any of those beliefs or people who believe in those things to say they're wrong. It's just a modern idea, or maybe a different way of looking at it. To me, as a medium, people many times will say to me, well, during this time, you must see spirits more than ever. I don't. It isn't any different for me and this time of year at any other time of year. But what happens is that you guys are much more tuned in, and you're much more aware to the dead. You are very interested in it. You're paying attention to it. That realm is always in our realm all the time. And the veil is just a state of consciousness. So is the veil thinning? Yes, because your state of consciousness is being more aware. So what I mean by that is your consciousness, because we are programmed to believe, and we have been taught to believe, that this month is more magical and more important than any other month, and that the spirits are walking among us, quote unquote, then yes, your veil, which is what the conscious is thinning. Follow me so far? The idea that spirits are walking among us more than ever is kind of giving the concept that they literally have to walk on the earth. What I mean by that is it's making it seem like there's a destination to go to and a destination to return. We see the spirit world as almost like operating like here, that they have to come to us, that they have to find us, and they have to walk on the earth, when it really is more like the internet. It is much more like technology. That realm is existing all the time, but you're not tuning into it all the time. So it would kind of be like the idea if you believed that all of a sudden that you're able to see the internet because you logged on. So in other words, someone may say to you, oh, you know what? There's online all the time. You're just not logging on all the time. You're not always on Google. You're not always checking your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever. You're not logging onto it all the time. But it doesn't mean that suddenly, because you're on it, it exists. You ever have that feeling? Let's say you go away from the internet for a while and you're like, you know, we all know those people that are like, I'm taking a break from social media and the internet and all that kind of stuff. But let's say you even have had that experience, and for you it's almost like disappeared, right? You're not really knowing what's going on with people. You're not really tuned in. Or let's reverse that, and let's say you're on all the time. You're checking your emails, you're checking your social media, and you're kind of submerged, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really like so much is happening. And someone else can say to you, oh, I haven't checked anything. So to them, it doesn't exist. This is how the spirit world is. So when people are so fascinated with October, and they're like, oh my gosh, the spirits are coming, they're here among us more than ever, and they're seeing and experiencing things. It's because you are paying attention and you are aware of it. And the thing that I kind of have a problem with when people are assigning a certain month or a certain time is basically making you feel your loved ones are only trying to connect to you during 1 month when there is no time there. There is no calendar. There is no time. So the spirit world does not need to adhere to a time and space. However, as a collective whole, everyone's deciding we're going to pay attention to the spirit world at the same time. Get me so far? So everyone's paying attention. To me, I always joke and say, you guys are in my world for 1 month. Everyone's interested in the world that I stay connected to all the time. So to me, the month of October isn't any different than any other month. But what I like about it is that everybody's kind of paying attention to the internet with me. And so does the dead walk among us more in October? No. Are we paying attention to it more in October? Yes. And that's okay, because that's something people believe in. And if people do believe in it and they have these different beliefs and cultures, I completely respect that. And even Samhain and all those type of things, I've partaked in those things. However, when I'm telling you something, it's what I've learned thus far. I've had some people not agree with me, and some people think that what I'm saying, they don't agree with. That's fine. But if you're asking me and you're interested in what I've learned in the 18 years of me doing this professionally and even dedicating my life to it, this is what I've learned so far, that this is what they show me. They're excited because everyone's interested in them and paying attention to them and listening for them during this time. So I hope that clears it up. We're going to get into all kinds of things. And on my Patreon, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff for the month of October, starting with what I'm about to post very soon, which is going to be paranormal experiences that I have had. Storytelling time, guys. And I'm going to be posting that, and actually one that has happened recently. So thank you guys all for who has joined my Patreon. And I wanted to do a shout out list of first 10 names. I wanted to do the first 40 people, but I'm going to start with 10 at a time. And if you want to join, then the information has popped up and feel free to join. Wanted to let everybody know that I'm doing 2 seances this month, starting with coming up in this weekend, which is going to be on the 8th. One at the beginning of October, one to end October. Online seances if you want to partake, because I'm just trying to do stuff we can all enjoy together virtually. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, a lot of this information that I give to you, I have in my book right here, Peering into the Narrow Womb. And if you guys have gotten my book, which I've gotten you guys have given me feedback. I really appreciate it. Feel free to write a review. Just real quick, I wanted to thank also the Patreon people who have been commenting on my Patreon about their experience with the journey I gave them. I did do a shout out that on my Instagram. I really, really like hearing from you guys, and I love the fact that you guys are giving me your cool experiences. Thank you guys so much. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see you soon.